Ever since the First World War, the British Bulldog has long been associated with the values of Britishness, and this was furthered with Winston Churchill famously being nicknamed after the dogs due to his loyalty and tenacity during the Second World War.
The pooches have remained a symbol of the British stiff upper lip ever since. However, animal rights group PETA have asked a pub named the Old Bulldog to change its name due to health issues associated with the breed, saying that the name could encourage people to buy or breed dogs with life-threatening deformities.
So, is it time we ditch the Bulldog as a national symbol, or is this left-wing wokery gone too far? We're joined by Jennifer White, who's from PETA, who have asked Churchill Car Insurance also to change their Bulldog mascot. And
we have broadcaster and dog lover Mike Parry, who says the Bulldog is irreplaceable. We're also joined by... Now, is it Loki or Lockie?
It's Loki.
Loki. Morning, Loki.
Brother of Thor.
Loki the Bulldog. Look at that, a majestic creature.
Beautiful.
Although perhaps with some breathing difficulties, which is your issue, isn't it, there?
Yes, I mean, the bottom line here is that bulldogs are born to suffer, and it's because they are deliberately bred to have these exaggerated features like the flat faces, the shortened airways, and it means that they can't even take a breath without gasping for air, let alone enjoying going for a run around the park, playing fetch, catching a ball, and they really are the furthest thing from a natural dog that you could imagine. You know, they can't mate without human interference, and 90% of these dogs have to be birthed via C-section because the puppies' heads are now so big that the mother dogs can't give birth to them naturally.
They sound like Frankenstein dogs.
Yeah, and this is just some of the reasons why we need to stop promoting and glamorising these incredibly unwell dogs.
Why have they become the sort of accessory of the rich and... Like, everybody that well, not British, but French bulldogs, certainly, I know. But this type of looking dog, why is it so expensive and why has it become...
Very fashionable.
What there is just this huge rise in these sort of designer breeds or these arbitrary traits. And unfortunately, it all comes down to the Kennel Club, which is the organisation that puts on crufts. And they decide the most desirable dogs. And then they actively encourage the inbreeding of closely related dogs to get these desirable features.
But the British Bulldog has been around for a very long time.
Yeah, no,
this isn't a new trend.
But
I mean,
actually, if you look at what an English Bulldog looked like back then versus now, they are virtually unrecognisable because of the decades of inbreeding. Yeah,
Mike, no one... You're a dog lover. Sorry, Jennifer, to cut you off. You're a dog lover. No one wants any animal to suffer in any way.
Of course not. Look, the symbolism of the British Bulldog is enormous, OK? My father fought in the Second World War in the Navy for 6 years. My father cried on the day that Churchill died in '65. And, of course, the British Bulldog is associated with Churchill and Churchillian values. And that's the way I see it. Now, I understand what PETA's saying, but I think you're being very selective about choosing what sort of dog you want to have a go at. Because I've looked up all the dogs that people have in their homes. The Cocker Spaniels have terrible health issues. They have hearing issues and sight issues. The sausage dog. Do you remember that little dog Twiglet last week that was kidnapped and then taken back again? It's a little dachshund, OK? It has terrible problems. It has short little legs. And it's all about inbreeding amongst dogs going back hundreds of years. There's no such thing as the perfect dog in this country. Every dog has got some sort of problem related to crossbreeding, and I don't know why you've picked on the Bulldog.
Well, you know, I agree with you. All dogs are inherently ill that are being deliberately bred to look a certain way. And you're right, it is across all breeds, which is why the healthiest and happiest dogs are mutts, because, you know, dogs don't care what they look like. If it was up to them, they would just mate with, you know, whoever took their fancy that day. But it's humans who are deliberately making dogs look a certain way and forcing them to mate with family members.
That is cruel, I agree, but I don't think that's bulldogs. That is more, isn't it, sort of designer dogs, you know, the sort of the flat-faced dogs that you're talking about. It's not bulldogs. I mean, I know... Well, I mean, we've seen Loki this morning, that dog. That dog looks perfectly happy to me, you know...
I mean, the look on... You can see Loki's face there. That's not necessarily a happy... It's a content dog. The look of a bulldog It's just
But
very
also,
typical, isn't it?
If I can just jump in, it's not just PETA saying this. The Royal Veterinary College is urging people to think twice before ever buying a bulldog or a flat-faced breed because of how incredibly ill these dogs are. You know, they can't breathe properly. People think their snoring is cute.
Loki
but if that was a
doesn't look ill.
child making that noise, you'd be rushing them to the emergency room.
I spent 20 minutes with Loki in the green room. He's a happy dog, believe me. He was licking my ears, you know, and he
no
likes
way
me.
That would make anyone happy, Mike.
It would make anybody happy. But, PETA, can I put this to you, please? There are millions of problems with animals in the world. All the time now on stream television, you see these adverts for donkeys, which are being worked to death, for bears, which are being kept in cages, for stray dogs in war zones, which are going to starve to death. Isn't the worth of PETA, your charity, which I think took an income of, was it £6 million last year, isn't the job of PETA to look after those animals which are really in terrible need, rather than picking on a dog which is associated, and this makes me a bit suspicious, with Britain and its heritage?
Well, PETA has had groups on the ground in Ukraine rescuing animals since the war broke out, and we have countless investigations and exposés on our website that anyone at home can go home and watch. This is not our only campaign, but bulldogs and flat-faced dogs are suffering, and we need to talk about it.
And you convinced Moonpig, didn't you, to take French
did,
bulldogs off all of their cards, which is a really fascinating move.
And
we did do a GMB poll on what should replace, if anything, the bulldog as a British symbol. Either the iconic Paddington bear, not real creature, perfect breathing.
What?
No.
Spoiler.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The beautiful Labrador Retriever, Britain's #1 favourite dog, or baked beans. What? Sorry? All the Great British Tea Bag. What kind... Who wrote this up? Go on, Ben, take over.
The winner was Paddington Bear.
Of course.
Followed by the tea bag and then the Labrador, but not the baked beans.
I'm not sure on the
Labradors have
tea bag
problems, don't
representing
they?
the
Labradors have problems as well.
Labradors have problems as well, don't they? I mean,
oh, yeah. Any dog who is genetically inbred to look a certain way will have health problems. Because we know breeding family members is not morally or ethically right.
Well, thank you to both of you. We're going to have to leave it there. I appreciate both of your points of view. And thank you to Loki, who indeed is really much enjoying sitting on our sofa. Now, Loki, if you came to my house...
Loki looks particularly uninterested in the debate, though, doesn't he?
Loki's not...
Like that.
Yeah.
What's going on? Come on.
You can't have dogs on furniture in my house.
No.
No, it's a big no-no. Loki, no, thank you.
Katie's going to be tidying up afterwards. Thank you for joining us, babe.
Let's get